All righty, so in a chapter review, everything you're going to see on the test. Next class period. Okay, so the first part was on the last test. A lot of people didn't do so well on the essential skills. Opportunity to replace that score. Asking for the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, when they're giving you the equation like that, it's pretty easy. Okay, y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope, b is your y-intercept. Okay, so right here, very straightforward. Slope, 2/3. Y-intercept, -1. Same thing right here. Slope, -3. Y-intercept, 1. Okay, next two are a little difficult, right? Because it's y equals 8. So that's a line that just goes straight across at 8. Okay, so you have a y-intercept of 8. Okay, your slope is going to be 0. Okay, lines that like that don't have a slope. X equals 4 goes straight up and down. Okay, so it actually doesn't have either of these, right? Slope is undefined. And it never crosses the y-axis, so it does not have a y-intercept. Next four, they give you the graph. Okay, so they ask you to find the slope and the y-intercept. So here we're counting up 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. So that's a slope of -4. Our y-intercept, it goes through the y-axis at 1. Second one, we go up 1 over 2. So we have a slope of 1/2. Y-intercept of 1, 2, -3. Okay, so these two kind of match the graphs above. Okay, so here our slope is going to be 0 again. Y-intercept goes through the y-axis at 4. Okay, we could write 0, 4. We could write them all as points if you wanted to. That's fine. H, slope is undefined. Vertical line has an undefined slope. Okay, y-intercept also does not exist. Okay, because it's never going to go through the y-axis. Number 2. Okay, they're asking you to graph them. Always start with the y-intercept. So we start right here, +1, slope of -3/2. So up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, made 3 points. You can make just 2 if you want. Okay, but we're looking for the right slope and the right y-intercept. Second one. Y-intercept of -2. Slope of, that's at 3. Y -2, slope of 4. So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2. Sorry, over 1. I really did well on this one. Up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Okay, positive slopes go up and to the right. Negative slopes go up and to the left. There we go. Graph of y equals 4. So we go to 4 on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. Straight horizontal line. Okay, because all those points have a y value of 4. X equals 1. Go to the x-axis. Go to 1. There we draw a line through all of the points that have an x value of 1. All right, first page done. Fairly easy. Second page. Okay, once again, review from last chapter that will be on the test. So writing an equation of a line. write an equation, you need two things. You need a slope and a y-intercept. Well, we can find the slope. Okay, we got to take these points. Okay, label them. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So I get negative 71 minus a negative 76. Okay, slope of a, sorry, equation, slope of, boy, the equation for the slope, Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Okay, so X2 is 18 minus 15. So negative 91 plus that should be negative 15. 18 minus 15 is 3, so we get a slope of negative 5. Okay, so we found our slope. We still have to find our y-intercept. So if we have y equals mx plus b, negative 5 should be our m. We can use either of these 2 points, plug in for x and y, and solve for b. I'll just use the first 2 points. I don't think one's easier than the other. So negative 76 in for y. We got negative 5 as our m value. That 15 is the x value we're using, and we're solving for b. So I get negative 76 equals negative 75 plus b. Add 75 to both sides to solve for b. B should just equal negative 1. So I take my new slope, I take my y-intercept, and I get y equals negative 5x minus 1. Same thing for b. We got x1, y1, x2, y2. So find our slope, 13 minus 15 over negative 9 minus a negative 12. So I get negative 2 over, let's turn to positives, positive 3. Okay, use either one of these points, plug in for x and y, and solve for b. So if I wanted to use the first one or the second one, doesn't matter. I'll use the second one this time. Plug in 13 for y. My new slope is negative 2/3. Negative 9 for x. I got to solve for b. Negative 2/3 times negative 9 is positive 6. Subtract 6 now. So I get 7 equals b. So I got my slope. I got my y-intercept. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 7 for my equation there. All right, 4, write an equation for each of the tables. Okay, so we need the y-intercept, we need the slope. Okay, so here we're changing values by just 1. Here we're changing values by adding 4. So 4 over 1 is my slope. Okay, my y-intercept is wherever x is equal to 0. So y-intercept should be negative 1. My change in my x values, I'm adding 5. So my slope should be 5 over my, I'm sorry. Change my x values is 5. Change in my y values is 3. So 3 over 5. Change in y values over your change in x values gives you the slope. Y-intercept right here. Okay, so I get plus 7. Letter C, they don't give you the y-intercept. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay, our change in y values is subtracting 2. Change in our x values is adding 1. Okay, so we get y equals negative 2x. Okay, so we can just kind of work backwards because we go 1 and 0. If we're going backwards or moving up the graph on my x. So we got to work backwards here. If we're subtracting 2, we got to add 2. So it would be 2 and then 4. So y equals negative 2x plus 4. So you know the way you could have done it in the next one? Okay, changing our x values, +2, changing our y values, it's +1. So I get y equals 1/2 x. Okay, my y-intercept should be somewhere in between those two. So use common sense and say, okay, if it's halfway between here, it's halfway between here. Okay, or you can just take any of these values and plug them in. So let's say I want to take those two values, plug in 2 for y, plug in 3 for x, and just solve for b that way. We get 2 equals 3/2 plus b. And what am I doing? Subtract 2 minus 3/2. This should just be 1/2. So I get a y-intercept of 1/2. So y equals 1/2 x plus 1/2 on that one. Okay, number 5, very similar to number 3, except they give you the slope. You don't have to do the work ahead of time and figure out what the slope is. They're giving it to you. So you're just plugging these in for x and y, solving for your y-intercept. So -16 equals -1/2 times 18 plus b. -16 equals -9 plus b. Add 9. We get a b value of 7. Take my slope from earlier. Now my y-intercept, y equals -1/2 x plus 7. Okay, same thing. We're given the slope. Plug in x and y. And so -49 equals -7 times 5 plus b. -45 equals -35 plus b. Add the 35, we get -14 as our b value. Y equals 5x minus 14. C, some bigger numbers, kind of a fraction slope. We'll see if it works out nicely. I got a feeling it does. -41 equals 8/3 times -18 plus b. It's going to be 48. Let's see. 8 divided by 3 times -18. Yep. So it still equals a whole number. -41 equals -48 plus b. Add 48. So b equals 7. So y equals 8/3 x plus 7. Our equation there. Number 6, using the towel pattern. Okay, so figure 0, 1 back. Looks like we are adding 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've added 4 figures. So we got to delete these 4 to get figure 0. So that'd leave me with just that right there. Add another one. Geez. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Windmill. Okay, so that's what figure 4 would look like. What is the growth factor? We're starting with 4. I'm sorry, we're growing by 4. Starting value, we started with 1. Slope and y-intercept, so y equals 4x plus 1. All right, number 7, then begins at starting line, 6 meters every 5 seconds. So up 6 over 5 for Ben. Starts at the y-axis or the origin. There's Ben. Get a different color. I'll go green here for Louise. 2 meter head start. So she starts at 2. She goes 3 meters. 1, 2, 3. Every 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. So Louise in green here. So something like that. Write an equation. So Ben's is going to be y equals 6/5x. You could write +0 if you wanted to, because he's going 6 meters every 5 seconds. Luis is going 3 meters every 4 seconds, but starts 2 meters ahead. Okay. So after 8 seconds, down here on the graph, okay, the red line, which is Ben, has traveled further. So that could be your answer. Ben, because on the graph, he has gone further in that time frame. Okay, you could also plug in 8 to both of those equations and see who's gone the further distance. Hey, that works for you too. All right, page 2 done. That one's a lot longer than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. So now new skills. Okay, transformations. ABC rotated 90 degrees about the origin. How will the slopes and the sides of the triangle change? Be clear. Well, okay, remember we're switching our X and our Y values anytime that it is rotated 90 degrees. So if this line is going this way, now it's going to go something like this way going back. So it doesn't ask you to graph it or anything, but we can say these slopes will be perpendicular because we change X and Y values. And they become negative or positive if they were negative to begin with. All right, but I'm more interested in these examples down here. So number 9, kind of tough, small graph. To translate 5 units to the right and 1 unit down. So 5 units to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 unit down right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 unit down, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 unit down. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to reflect across the x-axis. All right, we got the x, the y here. So count how long it takes you to get to the x-axis and do it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that one should be 7 again. All right, so now we've reflected all the points across the x-axis. Okay, so part C. Okay, it helps to have the points. In this case, we don't, but we're going 90 degrees counterclockwise. That's okay. So counterclockwise should be going this way. So my point here is at 1, 2, 3, 4, -7. Here I have 1, 2, 3. So that one should be at -3, -4. And this will be at -3, -7. So flip them. So our new point should be at 7, 4 for this one. 1, 2, man, this is tiny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. This point should be at 7, -3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And this one should be at 4, -3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Assuming I counted right. Okay, so we flipped the X and the Y and we got to know which quadrant we're supposed to be in. Man, that's tough on a small graph. Hopefully you're doing it on graph paper. 10, plot the following points, connect them in order, connect the first point to the last. So A is at -4, 3. Oh my goodness. It's brutal. Brutal. Where'd that black pen go? There it is. Make my axis a little bit darker here. It's a little better. So A is at -4, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. B is at -1, 7. 5, 6, 7. C is at 6, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. All right, got an interesting little graph, a little triangle here. Different colors to try and help. Part A, reflect the triangle across the x-axis. So count 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should use a ruler. Oh, that turned out okay. All right, and then connect the original points to the corresponding reflecting point. So you get this, where they're just straight vertical lines. Neat. Will that always be the case? Yeah, if you're reflecting across the x-axis, reflect across the y, and it's going to go the other way. Number 11, translate the shape 10 units to the left and 5 units down. Oh my gosh, I hate counting on these things. 10 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I got that point, right? It's right there. I can just figure out these points. It's a little bit easier because I just go over 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. From here to here is just 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And from here to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you could count 10 and 5 each time if you want, but we know the shape's not going to change. So we get that. Neat. All right, number 12 on the bottom, given the following equation, state the slope, then state the slope of a line that is parallel. Finally, state the slope of a line that is perpendicular. Okay, so we just got to know, remember, if it's parallel equals same slope, perpendicular, okay, opposite, reciprocal. Okay, so they don't ask you oh boy, reciprocal. Sure. Okay, so to come up with a parallel line, I'll do those in red. Y equals 2/7 x, and I can write whatever I want for my y-intercept. I don't ask for anything special. Okay, same thing over here. I got to flip it, and if it's positive, I make it negative, and I can write whatever I want for the y-intercept. Okay, here my slope is -3, so for something parallel, I have to have the same slope. Y equals 3x minus 1, whatever. Okay, negative reciprocal, we flip it, make the y-intercept +2, fine, whatever, it doesn't matter, it could be the same, could be 0. Okay, so parallel, perpendicular. Last one, they don't give it, they get in standard form instead of graph and slope form. So move the 4x over. I'm not sure why we put this on here, but we did. divide by -2. So slope form would be y equals 2x minus 9. So to make one that is parallel, y equals 2x plus 3. Make one that is perpendicular, y equals -1/2 x plus, I don't care, 0. It's exhausting. It's a long review. It's good. Good stuff. Equation of a line that is parallel. Okay, so we want to use the same slope. So we plug these in for x and y. So 1 equals 3/5 times 10 plus b. Okay. 1 equals 3/5. So 3/5 times 10 is 6. So 1 equals 6 plus b. 1 minus 6 will give you a y-intercept of -5. Slope from earlier, y equals 3/5 x minus 5. Okay, on 14, it's asking for the perpendicular. So we're given a slope of 3/5. We have to change our new slope to -5/3. Still use our points. 7 for y. -5/3 our new slope. -3 is our x value. And we got to solve for b. -5/3 times 3 is just 5. The calculator, but if you don't believe me, I don't know, put it in your calculator. So we get a b value of 2. So y equals -5/3 x plus 2. Okay, it's perpendicular. Slope's got to be different. Okay, so make sure you use your new slope for that. I switched to green. I don't know. Go back to red. All right, here's some of the stuff we did last class. Okay, we got to rewrite these to have the same base. So 1,000 and 100 can both be written as a base of 10. 1,000 is base 10 to the power of 3. Okay, 100 can be written as 10 squared. All right, so we need to multiply our exponents. So 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 1 is -3. That has to be equal to 2 times 4x, which is 8x. 2 times 1 is 2. Subtract 2x, subtract 2. -5 equals 2x. Divide by 2. So x would have to equal -5/2. Not a lot of work, not a lot of space to show your work, but next one, fraction busters. Okay, so we have to have a common denominator of 5, 2, and 10. Common denominator should be 10. So we got to multiply top and bottom by 2 here, top and bottom by 5 here, top and bottom by 1 there. Just leave it. So we get 4x over 10 plus 15 over 10 equals x over 10. Cancel out all our denominators. So 4x plus 15 equals x. Subtract 4x from both sides. 15 equals -3x. So x should equal -5. Okay, exponents again. Change 27 to 3 cubed. Don't need to change this one over here. So we get 3 times 3x makes that 9x. Oh, I have space over here. That's fun. And then 8x plus 1 stays the same. So 3 times 3x gives me the 9x on the right-hand side. Subtract 8x. 1 equals x. Sure, I get all that space, and that's all I have to do. All right. D. We have denominators of 1, 3, and 9. So let's get a common denominator of 9. So we multiply top and bottom by 9, top and bottom by 3 here. So 63 over 9 minus 12x over 9 equals 2 over 9. Denominators cancel out. 63 minus 12x equals 2. Subtract 63. Negative 12x equals negative 61. Divide by 12. That does not work out nicely, and that's okay. 61 over 12, I believe, is going to be the final answer. I don't think 61 reduces prime number. E. So we got 216 and 6. So 6 times 6 times 6 is actually 216. So 6 cubed equals 216. So now multiply your exponents. 3 times 4x is 12x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. So let me add the x over here, add the 3 over here. 13x equals 6. Divide by 13. X equals 6 over 13. That's fun. Lastly, F. Negative 7/3 plus x4. So we need common denominator, 3, 4, and 6. Common denominator of 12. So multiply top and bottom by 4. Top and bottom by 3. Top and bottom by 2. So negative 28 over 12 plus 3x over 12 equals 14 over 12. Cancel all those out. Negative 28 plus 3x equals 14. Add the 28. 3x equals 42. X equals 14 after all that. Whew. Almost there. All right, domain and range, not going to be on the test. Okay, it was on the last one, but we didn't think this review was long enough, so why not put some more stuff on it? Domain for this value to the left, negative 5. For this value to the right, goes on forever because it's an arrow to infinity. Lowest value for range. Okay, lowest value is at negative 1. Arrows going up, so that's going to go negative 1 to infinity as well. Is it a function? Yes. Passes the vertical line test. For B, domain, for this value to the left, negative 1. For this value to the right, infinity, because it goes on forever. Range, it's going to go down forever because that arrow is pointing down. 2, positive infinity, because that's going up. This is not a vertical, is not a function because it does not pass the vertical line test right there. Touches the graph at more than one place. C, domain. For this value to the left, negative 1. Arrows going to the right. Infinity. This is literally the exact same answer as this one. Range. Arrows going down forever and up forever. So we got, whoa, negative infinity to positive infinity. It is not a function, does not pass vertical line test. Vertical line touches the graph more than one place. D, we got a cubic function, goes to the left forever, right forever. So negative infinity to positive infinity. Range goes down forever and up forever. And it is it does pass the vertical line test, so it is a function. And 17, we're plugging in negative 15 for x here. So got 2 times, oops, 2 divided by 5 times negative 15 minus 8. Get a value of negative 14. Here you're being given the answer of negative 4. So negative 4 equals 2/5 x minus 8. Add the 8 to both sides. My handwriting is just getting so much worse throughout this. So I get 4 equals 2/5 x, multiply by the opposite, by the reciprocals. Negative 4 times negative 5/2 times 4 is 10. So an input of 10 would give us an output of -4. C, just gonna use my calculator again. 2 divided by 5 times 15 divided by 4 minus 8, -6.5. Okay, so what is that? -13/2. Could write -6.5. It's fine. And lastly, thank goodness, get an answer of 2/3. Trying to solve for what is going to give us a value of 2/3. So I need to add the 8 to the other side. Okay, what? I need a common denominator of 3. So I need to say 24/3. So that gives me 26/3 equals 2/5 x. All right, 24/3 is the same thing as 8. So I've just added 8 to the both sides. Now I'm going to multiply both sides by 5/2. 5 times 26 is 130. 2 times 3 is 6. Factors at least a little bit. What do we get? 65/3. That's probably it. Awesome problem there. All right. I'm sure I made a mistake somewhere in here. So hopefully you found it. I don't know. But a lot of problems there. Okay. Everything up until the other super fun stuff that's going to be on the test. Okay. Actually, this stuff will be on the test. Okay. Domain and range, and then evaluating functions will not be. So that stuff will be on there. Okay. Hopefully you are ready for the test come Tuesday.